Hello, Hardrocker Nation. This is Charlie Flohr, head football coach here at South Dakota Mines. What an exciting day for Hardrocker football and for South Dakota Mines as we get ready to introduce 30 new family members here to our football program as well as South Dakota Mines. I want to say a special thank you to our online sponsors today, Live Hospitality, for everything that they have done. Also, Alex Johnson Hotel, Patty O'Neill's Irish Pub, and the Vertex Sky Bar. What they have done for our athletic department, we greatly appreciate. I want to start off with a wide variety of thank yous. First of all, start with Dr. Rankin, president here at South Dakota Mines, and his executive council for everything that they have done for our program and for our university. Also want to say a special thank you to our athletic administrative team, Joel Lucan, the director of athletics, Cassie Kasiba, our associate AD in SWA, Seth Nichols, our athletic director, for compliance and the amount of work that he has done for us to make this possible. Brad Bloom with all of the media relations side of things here on campus. Anita Brenneman, who works for us as kind of our office manager and gets a lot of the important information out to our recruits. Our strength staff, Brock and Carl, for what they have done to showcase what our athletic department and what our kids are able to do in the weight room, and as well as our medical staff. You know, we got a great relationship with Monument Health, Emily Lawrence and her staff, and what they've been able to do and help us out with it through the recruiting process. Also special thanks to Molly Moore and the admissions team. The amount of tours that they were able to give our potential scholar athletes here on campus, and her staff, you know, did a phenomenal job of making sure that our student athletes, potential student athletes, were able to see everything on campus that they needed to see. Our outstanding faculty and staff spent a lot of Saturday mornings with them and them showing what South Dakota Mines is all about, and they really do a great job of selling our university and everything that we have here. Our wonderful alumni and corporate sponsors that help us with the athletic scholarships that we're able to give to our young men here at South Dakota Mines. Yeah, well, I know we got alumni from all over the country, all over the world, and I greatly appreciate everything that you guys have done for our program as well as the university. Our football staff, obviously during the recruiting time, recruiting is an everyday occurrence. We're constantly on the phone sending messages, so our football staff does and will continue to do a fabulous job of reaching out to those student athletes. They're spending lots of time away from their families. This year was a little bit different. We were probably on more Zoom meetings than we were face-to-face, but all of that stuff takes time and effort away from their families. So, you know, I can't say enough about our staff and everything that they've done. Also to their families, their wives, and their children, you know, taking their personal time away from them in order for us to get 30 new Hardrockers here into our program. Last thing I just kind of want to finish with is just give everybody an update on Coach Cody O'Neill. Cody is still up at Northwestern. He's out of the hospital in the Chicago area. He and his wife Kelsey, they're doing great. You know, we actually welcomed another member into our Hardrocker family last Monday, where Kelsey and Cody welcomed their new baby boy Lincoln into their family. So we've obviously accepted them into ours, and can't wait for Cody's return. He's scheduled to be back here later this spring. So if you could please continue to send your well wishes to Cody and Kelsey. So. With all that being said, you know, I'm going to jump right into it. We had a great recruiting class. You know, we end up, we're going to finalize with 30 up to this point. We're still going to continue. We got a few holes that we need to fill, but like I said, our staff did a phenomenal job of going out and truly finding the student athletes that really fit us and what our program is all about, taking our core values within our football team, taking our core values here at South Dakota Mines, and really finding those kids that fit us. And, you know, there's a lot of legwork that goes into it, you know, talking with the high school coaches, talking with parents, talking with counselors, and, again, really making sure that every kid that we get into our program is going to fit us and what our mission is here within the next 4 or 5 years of their life, as well as, you know, the next 40 to 50 years of their life. So with that being said, I'm going to kind of jump right into some statistical information about this year's recruiting class. Like I said, we end up signing 30 kids. 9 of those scholar athletes are here from the great state of South Dakota, which again, we want to continually come out and recruit our backyard. You know, South Dakota is home for me. I know that the student athletes and people are very loyal here in South Dakota, and you know, that's one of our core values. And for us to go out and find 9 scholar athletes that truly wanted to be here at our university and play for our program. We're very grateful for. We are going to have 11 different states represented in the country. You can see the list of states: Arizona, Colorado, Iowa, Idaho, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, South Dakota, Texas, Utah, and Wyoming. And then there's the breakdown. So within this class, we've got 6 offensive linemen, 6 linebackers, 5 defensive linemen, 3 tight ends, 3 running backs, 2 receivers, 2 DBs, and then 2 specialists within our program. First, I'm going to start off with Leighton, tight end from Boise, Idaho. Came from Bishop Kelly High School. This was a kid that we were able to see at camp out in Wyoming, and represented a lot of the things that we're looking to do as an on-the-ball tight end. Is a former teammate of Jay Horning, one of our current players here on campus, and just can't say enough great things about him. He's looking to get into mechanical engineering, and we're just excited, about the future that he's going to come in and show us here within the next 4 or 5 years. Next one is Austin Burdette, coming out of Colorado, linebacker. Another kid that was here this summer, toured the campus, fell in love with the place. We've been to a lot of other engineering schools, and really just wanted to find what best fit him. And like I said, with him being here this past summer, and then coming up for the second time, really just solidified what he was looking for. He was looking for a place that he could find home here in the Black Hills area, as well as get a great education and play in a lot of good football games. Next one is Logan Cole. So Logan is a student athlete from Thermopolis or Hot Springs High School in Wyoming. Team captain, all-state, team MVP. He's kind of one of those hybrid type kids for us, a tight end, fullback, running back type kid. So, again, one of those kids we saw at camp, and, very electric, very explosive, did a wide variety of things for Hot Springs High School. And, coming into our program, he's looking to major into pre-health. But we're just excited, with the type of frame and athletic ability that Logan's got to come in and be an impact player for us. Next young man is Max Nerry, coming from Dowling Catholic High School in Des Moines, Iowa. Max is coming from a very prestigious high school in Iowa, probably one of the better or most well-known high schools within the state, numerous state champion. Their head football coach and I have gone back a long ways, just with some clinic things, and we recruited some kids when I was at Northwest from Dowling Catholic. A wrestler, multi-sport athlete, coming in here and planning to major in mining engineering, all-state player, all district, and was a state qualifier within wrestling last year. Cole, coming from Linmar, another Iowa young man, was here, and again, really fell in love with the place. Coming from a 12-hour distance, had never really been out here before, and just all the things he was looking for. We really challenge all of our student athletes when they come to our place. Make sure you have 5, 6 things that you're looking for in a school, and when you're picking that school, make sure we have that. And had a great conversation with him the other night, and that was the thing we talked about is, Coach, I chose your school because every box that I wanted to get checked, South Dakota Mines did that. Getting a player that was another academic all-state, all-conference player, team captain, again, an up-and-coming kid coming from Iowa, and coming from a great program as well. Next is Henry Dryden, coming from Boise, Idaho. Tight end, looking to major in environmental engineering. Another phenomenal kid. Him and his dad were up on the visit, and was very impressed with everything that we had here on campus. I had, again, have never been here before, kind of looking at our place and a wide variety of other institutions. And again, just felt that he fit us, and we fit him from an academic standpoint, from a football standpoint. 6'3", 205-pound tight end kid that was, one of those kids that you could move around, play him in a wide variety of spots. Just one of those athletic tight ends that we can continue to put weight on and use his athleticism. Next one is Mason Galbraith, wide receiver from Littleton, Colorado, Dakota Ridge High School. 6'4", 195-pound receiver, big, tall, lengthy kid that's got great ball skills, great wingspan, that can go up and get the football. Coming again from another great high school program down there in Colorado, team captain, all-state, all-conference kid, as well as being an academic all-state kid. So, again, the more and more you see our kids that are signing here at South Dakota Mines, they're not only great student athletes, but they're just all-around good people and all-around good football players. And again, it just goes back to what we're trying to look for within what fit us. Next young man is Alexander Gallagher, offensive lineman from Brighton High School in Colorado. Looking at major in chemical engineering, was an all-conference kid down there. Came up and did a great job of really showing us that he loves the school. He did his research. That this was one young man that asked a lot of questions, that really wanted to figure out if this place was for him. Had a lot of other options, and he went through the recruiting process very diligently. And I'm really excited about the future of this young man. He comes from great family, and I'm really excited to see how Alexander continues to grow and develop within our program. Next young man is Joel Gifford. Joel comes from Faith, South Dakota. Was an 8-man player up there. Was an all-state linebacker for them. I don't have the true statistical information here in front of me, but I know he had well over 100 tackles this past year. A 3-sport athlete, was an all-state player, played for his dad. His dad is the head football coach up there at Faith, South Dakota. Looking to come in and major in civil engineering. Phenomenal kid, somewhat close to home here within South Dakota. A phenomenal athlete, and we're really excited about Joel and what he's going to be able to do and continue to grow and develop in our program. So we're really excited about Joel and him making the decision to come to South Dakota Mines. Next gentleman is Garrett Hessler. Garrett comes from Mitchell, Nebraska, right down the road, very close to the Scottsbluff area. Statistically, our biggest signee this year. He's 6'8", about 270 pounds. Played defensive end, defensive tackle. Looking at major in mechanical engineering. All conference, all district kid. He's one of those kids when he walked in the door. Every kid that if I have to look up to, they're big enough and they're tall enough. But he had to squat through a few doors to get into a lot of the buildings here. But really excited about him. He's a kid that physically may be ready to play earlier than some of the other players. Still has some room for growth, but he was a local kid that really loved Rapid City, really loved the Black Hills and South Dakota Mines, and we're really excited to get this gentleman and to have him a part of our program. The next one is Trey Horner, defensive lineman from Roosevelt High School in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Trey hadn't played football. He didn't play his sophomore year, and the last couple of years really kind of grew into his body. Coach Kim Nelson got him to come out for football, and really had an outstanding year this season. He's a basketball player as well, very athletic kid. And I think we got him in at about 6'4", 6'5", 230 pounds, and again with our strength staff and what we're able to do in the weight room, he's going to come into our program and develop and get bigger, faster, stronger. And for us, recruiting on that side of the state was big for us. There's a lot of good football players in South Dakota, and we got to continue to grow the relationship on the east side of the state. And this was another young man that we're really excited about coming into our program. Our next young man is Hunter Huffman, coming from Pueblo, Colorado. Pueblo Central High School, defensive back. Looking at major in computer science, was an all-conference team captain, all-state honorable mention kid. He was one of our first early commitments. He was here back in December and fell in love with the place. And we had him committed into our program before Christmas break, which for us and the way the recruiting cycle worked this year, with us playing games and with the process being a little bit slower than it typically is, we were really excited to get this young man. Comes from a good high school program. Mom works right there in the school, so feel we got a great relationship down within that area. And, Hunter's going to come in and press a lot of our current players and challenge them for playing time here in the near future. So, we're really excited about Hunter coming to South Dakota Mines. Next one is Wren Jacobs, linebacker from Sturgis Brown High School. Fortunately for me, was able to watch Wren play a lot this year. And, he impressed me more and more as the season went on. Maybe a little bit undersized, but he's a tough, gritty kid. He's a state qualifier for wrestling, an all-state kid, academic all-state, was their team MVP this year. He was awarded the Doug Miller Award there at Sturgis Brown High School and was on his visit. And the more and more I got to talk to him individually, was just really impressed with him and what his future is after he graduates from South Dakota Mines. And for us to continue to find local talent here within the Black Hills area and to get a few of those kids here really excites me and the rest of our staff. So, excited for Wren and what he's going to be able to do here. Our next young man is Caleb Jones, running back out of Gilbert, Arizona. Comes from Basha High School. He's looking to major in biomedical engineering. Some statistical things on Caleb. He was the team MVP, was the first team All-State running back, a team captain, is a school record holder for rushing yards. He's one of those bowling ball type kids that's going to run hard within the tackles and still have the breakaway speed to run away from people when he gets out into the open field. But a smart young man, very excited to continue our Arizona pipeline up here in Rapid City. And, he's one of those kids that has the physical abilities to potentially come in here in the next couple of years and get some meaningful snaps for us. And, just really excited for Caleb and making his decision to come here to South Dakota Mines. Our next one, A.J. Kelly, offensive lineman out of Rock Springs, looking to major in electrical engineering. Team captain, all-conference, all-state player. In 2019, he was the heavyweight state champion wrestler there in the big class of Wyoming. Measures in at about 6'6", 285. Love our local kids, being growing up in the state of Wyoming and having some really good ties, good sales as well. We're really impressed with AJ and his family, being able to kind of watch him wrestle and develop here in the last couple of years. And, just showing the toughness, the physicality. The one thing you'll find about us, and I'll try and talk a lot about our multi-sport athletes, but I love our wrestlers. I love those kids because they're typically mentally tough. They know how to win those one-on-one matchups, and they know how to fight through a lot of adversity, and especially down in the trenches. So, for us, we're really excited about AJ coming to our program. Had a lot of different options, and want to stay closer to home. And we're really excited to have AJ and his family be a part of our family here. Our next one is Colt Kessner out of Highlands Ranch, Colorado, offensive lineman. Again, Cole's one of those early signee or early commitment kids. Going to look at a major in biological engineering. Team captain, all conference, all state kid, academic, all state. Was here early in December and made the decision right away. He felt comfortable with what we were selling here at South Dakota Mines, not only on the football side of things, but what we have from the academic side. He's a big, tough, strong kid. His weight room numbers are through the roof. And he's, again, when you go back and look at kind of the roster and the bios of all of our kids, they're tough, they're gritty. They do a lot of things, and Cole's no different. And he's going to come in here and create some more depth within our offensive line. Our next young man, Oscar Koistra. He's a defensive end from Baltic, South Dakota. Lives in the Brandon Valley area, but goes to school up in Baltic. Defensive end, looking to major in civil engineering. Comes from a very athletic family. His dad played basketball at South Dakota and the University of Sioux Falls. Was an all-conference kid from them. Another 9-man player that is really raw. Had only played football for a couple of years. but with his frame, he's about 6'4", 190, 200 pounds right now. We are just excited for him and what he's going to be able to do. Just more raw talent within the state of South Dakota that really, fell in love with our school and everything that we were looking for what he was looking for academically, as well as being a part of the program that's going to continue and grow moving forward. Nick Mogg, defensive lineman from Scottsbluff, Nebraska. About 6'5", 6'6", 250 pounds, looking to major in mechanical engineering, all-state, all-conference kid. I've been fortunate enough, I've kind of followed Nick a little bit. At my previous institution, we had really good luck with Scottsbluff kids, and so I've known about Nick for a long period of time, just when he was a sophomore, just watching his film, playing some state championship games and different things. But Nick's got family in the area, so this was kind of home for him. Fell in love with the academic side of things, looking to major in mechanical engineering. A big physical kid that we feel is going to come in and help us on the defensive side of the football. Our next young man, Carson Maslin from Brandon Valley High School. You can see there's receiver and punter. He's kind of a dual threat kid. Is a receiver, but also did some punting for them, and we're looking for him to come in and battle for our punting spot. Again, one of those local kids on the east side of the state that really exemplifies what we're looking for and a true fit with our program. Comes from a state championship football team over there. They've got that culture at Brandon Valley that they know how to win, they know how to put the time and effort in, and to get those things done. And the more and more of those kids we can continue to put into our program and help stress a lot of those fine details of what it takes to win. And Carson comes from one of those types of programs there on the east side of the state, and very excited to have Carson and his family be a part of our family here. Our Texas representative is Jack Masters, offensive lineman from Dripping Springs, Texas, down there in the Waco area. If you're not familiar with where Dripping Springs was, I honestly did have to look it up on the map to figure out exactly where it was. But Jack's going to come in here and look at the business management and technology degree. Was a team captain, an all-state player, as well as an all-conference player. Came in and he's a country kid. He fits us. He's got horses. His mom trains horses, and so he really fit us. He fit what South Dakota is all about. He fit what Rapid City is, and for us to find those types of kids in the state of Texas was big for us. And we feel Jack's going to come in and again continue to find depth and create depth within our program and challenge a lot of our kids within the offensive line. Our next signee is Kendrick Macrae, coming from Lincoln, Nebraska, defensive back, looking at majoring in business management and technology. Was an all-state kid, all-city, honorable mention there in the Lincoln area. DB, return specialist type thing. Again, he was one of those athletic kids that he could have played receiver, he could have played defensive back, very good in the return game. Just an outstanding young man in all aspects of life. Have great conversations with this kid. Very excited about his future here in Rapid City, and I know he's excited and anxious to get up here, which a lot of our kids are. But really excited for Kendrick and his opportunity to show his talents here at South Dakota Mines. Our next signee is Hunter Newsom. Hunter comes from Green Valley, Missouri, Green Valley High School. It's a suburb of Kansas City. Coach Messick, our specialists and outside linebackers, Jack position coach, has some really good ties down with that staff. Myself as well with the head coach down there at Green Valley, and Coach Ali, who I've known for the last 15 years. Really got us onto this kid. That's one area that we typically haven't gotten into in the past here at South Dakota Mines, but we're going to continue to get down into that Midwestern type area. Fell in love with the school. Was out here in the wintertime. It snowed. If weather wasn't favorable sometimes for those Midwestern kids or those from those states down south. But fell in love. The one thing I'll never forget, he and his dad walked out of our building and saw about 15 head of deer right over by the practice field, and I think that's what sold him is, they're big outdoors people. Hunter's a wrestler, 195 pounds right now, was the Class 5 Player of the Year there in Missouri, was up for the Simone Award, which is a very prestigious award of all of the student athletes there within the Kansas City metro area. Defensive Player of the Year this past year, as well as being an academic all-state kid. So, a lot of great things, and we were really excited to get this commitment from Hunter, and again, trying to get more kids from not only here, but as well as, kind of that Missouri, Iowa, Midwestern area. So, look for exciting things out of Hunter here in the future. Our next signee is Jackson Schiller. Jackson comes from Volga, South Dakota, or Sioux Valley High School. Jackson was the 11B Player of the Year this year. Again, one of those athlete-type kids that we feel we can move around and put him in a wide variety of positions on the field. Looking at major in mechanical engineering, team captain all-state, all-conference academic all-state, took up golf in the quarantine time, so he's trying to master his skills at golf. But he's just one of those multi-sport athlete kids that comes from small school that knows how to work, knows how to win a lot of games, and they did that there. And we know when he comes here and just focuses on football, he's going to help our program out immensely. And really excited again to get a kid of that caliber here within the state of South Dakota that chose to come to South Dakota Mines. Another gentleman from the Sioux Falls area is Jacob Schwab, linebacker from O'Gorman High School, looking to major in chemical engineering. Was a state champion his junior year there at O'Gorman, academic all-state, all-conference, elite 45 football player over there in the Sioux Falls area. Again, just one of those tough, hard-nosed kids. We're fortunate to watch him play in person here at the stadium Friday night before one of our games, and he lit it up. He was running around making plays, and had great conversation with him through the recruiting process, and we're really excited about Jacob and what he's going to be able to do here in Rapid City. Our next signee is Ethan Somerville, offensive lineman from Lehigh, Utah, looking to major in business management and technology. Was an all-conference kid there in Utah. Was the offensive line MVP, or really the offensive player of the year for them. He's one of those kids. He's a little undersized. He's about 6'2", 6'3", but he's got really good feet, and he's a really good athlete. He was one of those kids that they moved around and had him play a lot of different positions. And for what we do from an offensive standpoint, even though we're kind of categorizing him as an offensive lineman, he's got that stature work. If we need him to play some tight end and get in some bigger packages, Ethan's able to do that. He's a very intelligent kid in all aspects of the academic side as well as the football side, and the flexibility that Ethan's going to be able to help our program out, we're really excited for. So, great to get another Utah kid. We have some other Utah connections here within our current team right now, and look to continue that pipeline moving forward. Our next signee is Jackson Solik. Jackson was actually he was our first commitment in this recruiting process. Was here this summer, came for a game, had a great experience. From Chamberlain, right there on the river, so it's hard to say I think he's an East River kid, and we won't hold that against him, but he's a phenomenal athlete, a wrestler, heavyweight wrestler for them. Going to come in and play inside for us on the defensive line. Team captain, all conference, academic all state, academic all conference, and like I said, he came here in the summer, and he came here for a game, and essentially almost committed to us on the spot, and just the future that Jackson's going to hold for us. We think he's going to come in and create a lot more depth in our defensive line, and continue to grow for us. Our next signee is Jonathan Stockwell, coming from Ankeny Centennial High School in Ankeny, Iowa, which is a suburb of the Des Moines area. Looking to major in electrical engineering. Was a 4-year academic all-state kid within Iowa. Was a 3-year varsity soccer player for them, as well as being a punter within their football team. Ankeny Centennial is one of the newer high schools within the bigger classes in Iowa. They continue to get bigger and bigger, and they get better and better. And really excited for Jonathan to come in and compete for our punting spot here at South Dakota Mines. Again, coming from a great program, and looking for a lot of success out of him in his future. Our next signee is Connor Taylor. Connor comes from Longmont High School in Colorado. Is a kicker. Again, phenomenal student athlete. Really had his ducks in a row with what he was looking for academically, as well as finding the right fit in what we had from our kicking standpoint. We did graduate our kicker this past year, so he kind of visions himself to coming in and compete for the starting spot. And those are things that we like about kids that are willing to come in and compete. Whether they're true freshmen or they're a fifth-year senior, guys that are going to compete and show that they can every day. He's an all-conference kid, academic all-conference, academic all-state, as well as being a team captain, and looking for a lot of great things from Connor when he shows up on campus. Our next signee is Kaden Vanduska, coming from St. George, Kansas, Rock Creek High School, which is just kind of a suburb of the Manhattan area, Manhattan, Kansas. Tight end, 6'3", 220 pounds, looking to major in mechanical engineering. Very good athlete, three-sport athlete. He's a center fielder on the baseball team. The other night he had over 20 rebounds within their basketball team. He a phenomenal athlete. Did his homework. He was only looking at certain schools, and he and his mom drove up from Kansas and checked our campus out, and just fell in love with the place, fell in love with the Black Hills, fell in love with Rapid City, as well as South Dakota Mines. And again, he's one of those athletic type kids that has got the frame to potentially be an on the ball tight end, but as well as flex out and catch the ball out in the perimeter and do a lot of different things that way. So we're again really excited to get a kid from kind of that Midwest area that really values the education that we have up here in Rapid City and at South Dakota Mines. And then our last one is Luke Wickersham. Luke comes from Brandon Valley High School, running back. And his father played here at South Dakota Mines, which was very important for us to go and find again the alumni that we have within this area as well as around the country, and look at recruiting their sons. Was really impressed with Luke on his visit. He just started wrestling this year as a senior, hadn't wrestled in at least 4 to 5 years, and they asked him to come out for the wrestling team because they had lost a kid at that weight before the season started, and he thought about it, stepped right in, and I know is working his tail off to hopefully get over here to compete in the state tournament in Rapid City for wrestling. But again, academic all-state kid, tough, gritty young man that kind of wanted to follow in his father's footsteps, but as well as make his own name. So really excited about Luke coming into our program. Again, state champion kid coming from a very good program in Sioux Falls at Brandon Valley High School. That kind of concludes our signing class, but also just wanted to give Hardrocker Nation a bit more information in regards to our season next year, spring ball and different things. I want to highlight our schedule. Our schedule is set for the 2021 season. We are going to open up on Thursday night, September 2nd at 6 p.m. against Missouri S&T. In 2019, Missouri S&T was a 7-4 ball club, really close to making the playoffs. They're actually going to, their conference are going to play games this spring, so they're going to get 4 or 5 games in this spring and then come out here to Rapid City. Then our next home game is against Mayville State. That will be on September 11th. It'll be a 5 o'clock kickoff. Then some other big games, just to kind of note on the schedule. Our first conference game is against rival Chadron State on September 18th. Homecoming will be a 4 o'clock kickoff against Colorado State Pueblo. Again, a very quality opponent within the RMAC conference. National championship team back in 2014, and Pueblo's done a phenomenal job, and we're getting them up here for homecoming. Like I said, that'll be a 4 o'clock kickoff. Our other home games, Fort Lewis on October 9th. We go to Colorado Mines, the Mines versus Mine game, October 16th. Home game against Western Colorado, October 23rd. We play Black Hill State, rivalry game in Spearfish, October 30th. Go to Highlands and then finish the season off against Colorado Mesa here November 13th. So, from my standpoint, really excited about our schedule. When I look at it, see a lot of quality teams. Obviously, coming into the RMAC, and, being able to get a full schedule with next year will be very good for us and our program, just to, again, kind of see where we stack up within our conference. And, it's a very challenging conference schedule. But you can also see, we're going to test ourselves early with a very quality opponent in Missouri S&T coming here. Just kind of got a screenshot of our spring schedule. We are planning on just doing a normal spring ball. After some talks and deliberation with our staff and our athletic administration, we just felt the direction of our program. We needed to, continue into a normal spring. Was very happy with us getting 4 games in last fall, which, our big recruiting spill was this year. We were 1-10 Division II teams to play college football. And, whether it was 2 games, 4 games, whatever it was for a lot of other schools, for us to get 4 games in was very important for me in the growth of our program. So for us, we're going to just continue with a normal spring ball schedule. We're going to look at starting on March 17th. Our schedule is up. We'll get all of that stuff out online. And then we're going to have a spring game that's scheduled to be at 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, April 17th. We'll get more information out about that and what that spring game will look like, with a lot of different activities for everybody involved here in Rapid City. We're trying to get a lot of our alumni back for our spring football game. And then last but not least, again, I greatly appreciate everybody for getting on the live Facebook and checking out our recruiting class. Extremely excited about these 30 young men that have made the decision to join our family here at South Dakota Mines. And, we feel the future's bright. Our kids are continuing to put in a lot of hard work within the last 3 weeks since they got back from Christmas break. We're getting ready to start, like I said, in middle of March with our spring ball. But, the excitement of the day is these 30 young men that made the decision to come to Rapid City and not only showcase their talents on the football field, but show what great citizens they are, what great people they are, and how proud that we're all going to be of them here in Rapid City and how they're going to represent South Dakota Mines. So again, we appreciate your time. Look forward to a great spring. Look forward to a great fall. And, really excited about the direction of our program and everybody that's helped us out and get to this point. So, with that being said, look forward to seeing everybody here, hopefully for our spring game, April 17th. If not, it'll be for the first home game on September 2nd at 6 p.m. Thank you very much, and go Hardrockers.